MK, and I am back with another May I Scraplift You, and today I am scraplifting Terry Koskinen. I apologize for butchering the name. And this is the layout that I found quite interesting. Now, it is very, very busy. She uses itty bitty teeny tiny little photos, which I happen to have. These are actually 4x6 photos, and then what I did was I just trimmed them down to the focal, to what's the main focus on the photos. But she uses lots and lots of florals behind and around her photos, and I thought that since I just did a layout about little Dakota and my son, that I thought that I would do the companion page since I was kind of sort of already in the mood. I also noticed that she has a white on white cut file on the back of, behind it all, and it kind of looks like it's two cut files going this way, actually. Yeah. And I decided that I'm actually going to cut out this image here on a diagonal and basically cut out all the flowers. And then that way this delicate little thing will be laying on my layout. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm also, I've also pulled out my More Than Words Cocoa Vanilla stuff. Some of them anyways. I have this stamp set that I thought would be kind of cool to kind of sort of do. Now, I don't plan on making mine as colorful as hers. I actually have a ton of vellum pieces that I just love the black outline. I love this. Now, this isn't Cocoa Vanilla. This one is actually close to my heart. I might flip it over so I get the grayness instead of the blackness, but I have all of those. I pulled out the little cardstock sticker sheet as well to help embellish rather than just florals. And then I cut these two cut aparts away just to have some butterflies on there because dogs and butterflies make sense. And then this is going to be more on the background side rather than anything else. I pulled this out to back my photo, and also because I believe it's white core cardstock, it brings me to my Take Out My Tools Tuesday. Now, this one here, we're still on embossing folders, but now it's kind of more of, now that you've embossed it, what else can you do with it? So I plan on taking this ginormous grid embossing folder, and I was going to put my cardstock inside, and then I was going to sand it to get a texture. And basically, it's going to be the backer for my sheet right here. So I'm going to rip and tear. It's not going to be perfect or anything like that. So basically, my layout's not going to look anything like the one I'm scrap lifting, but it's an inspiration and a starting point. I also have this piece right here that I thought would look really good as the backing, but now that I'm looking at it, I don't like it. I might go with white, you guys. I'm not really sure. I still have to play with it and still have to, yeah, I'm not sure if I like that or not. So I might go with a white background because this is white based. The cut file's white based, all that stuff. So that might not be, I might go with a white background. Also, I pulled out my mixed media, because she's got a lot of mixed media, behind, but it's just the splattering portion. So I thought I'd pull that out as well. And then I also pulled out this Botanical Rhapsody washi tape by Altenew. It is huge, but there's no color in it. So basically, and yes, I am opening it for the first time. I couldn't tell you how long I've had it. But yes, it's interesting. I don't want to talk about it. Let me open this up. Here we go. And basically, it is just like the More Than Words washi or vellum pieces. It's got a lot of the same florals in it. It has a lot more leaves, but what I like about it the most is when I put it down, which clearly I'll put it down a lot better, I can put this in my Scan and Cut, and my Scan and Cut will cut out all of these pieces for me. So I planned on using this as more of my embellishment and building clusters. All right. There we go. So, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do them on, or do these on vellum, because the thing about the Scan and Cut is the scanner is so sensitive that it picks up, if it can see through it, it'll pick up every cut it's ever made. And so when I use vellum, that's exactly what it does, is it sees all those cuts. And so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to ignore them or not. So we will see. I have cut vellum on before, but we will figure it out. And we'll go, I am going to go get a white base, because the more I look at it, the more I don't like that at all. So here we go. Yes, I like that a lot better. And then I'm basically going to texture this with my tool. But what I want to do is I'm going to stick my piece inside here. Okay. I'm going to run this through my die cut machine, but then I'm going to tear my pieces. Actually, no, I lied. I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. Then I'm going to sand it, because I want that white core cardstock to stick through. Then I'm going to tear it and stick it underneath here, but it's not going to be like I'm backing a cut file. It's just going to be, the cut file is going to lay on top of this piece right here and give all these vellum pieces kind of some color to pull up. Okay, that's my idea. If not, then if I don't like it, then it's going to end up being the backing pieces for my photos, because I just didn't like how it looked, to be honest. That's where it's going to go. But it is the idea that I have. I do plan on cutting this up. I do plan on bringing out my tool and using that. Do plan on using my Scan and Cut. And yeah, I will get going. All right, let's go. So I went to my die cut machine and went ahead and embossed this piece of paper. Now, I absolutely love these embossing folders, you guys, but I apologize for not being able to show you guys close up as to the actual texture that they put in. This paper has become what feels like really super thick in reality to what it was. I mean, I have to say that 49 and Market paper is already pretty thick, but once you add this texture to it, it is just phenomenal. So I did take a sanding block and I sanded it, but then I realized that I picked the wrong kind of paper to show you guys what this detail looks like. So I went ahead and I just put it as a photo mat behind my 5 photos. And then I plan on taking the reverse side, which is not sanded, and using it as an extra layer and dimension on my layout. Now, I do realize that the layout that I'm scrap lifting, she uses bright, bold colors, and you can definitely tell the difference between her layers of paper, so you won't really see it in mine. I wanted this to be a pretty soft layout, especially next to its companion page. So I do have to use tear and tape in order to get the photos to actually stick to all that dimension. Plus, the sanding leaves a little bit of a residue on it, not like dirty residue, but it's fibers that no matter how much I try to wipe off, it won't come off. And so regular double-sided tape just won't stick to it for me, unless I have like uber super strong double-sided tape. I'm not sure. I don't know. The stuff that I use, it doesn't work. So anyways, working on the background now that I have my photos situated and I've cut out all that extra paper. Now my photos are rather on the large side, even though I trimmed them down. way smaller than 3x4s. They still are kind of small, so I didn't want to put as many layers as what was in my lifting sketch or layout. I'm sorry. So I went ahead and I decided to play with the background. Now I have my cut file laid out on this white paper, and I know that it's kind of hard to see, but I went ahead and I did my peach, which is actually called Coral, and then a green that I believe was called Forest Glade or something like that by Altenew. And then I had my tea by Heidi Swapp Color Shine. I had that available on my desk, so I went ahead and sprayed that on, or sprinkled it on as well. And then I went to my scan and cut, and I just put my washi on vellum. And actually, the washi that I use is by Stampin' Up. It's really thick, not washi, I apologize. The vellum that I use is really thick by Stampin' Up, and I absolutely... I love it, you guys. It is so thick and durable. It just is amazing. Now, my Scan and Cut has an auto detect on it. So it does like this pre-cut first before it'll actually cut out my images to try and gauge the depth of how thick something is. And so I really like it because I don't have to play with presets or anything like that. I can just put in whatever I'm cutting, which this vellum is pretty thick compared to, my white cardstock and things like that. But I just absolutely love how it does that little preset, not preset, but that little pre-cut to see how thick something is before it'll cut all these out. And I did end up cutting out 3 pieces of vellum. My washi tape wasn't exactly as wide as an 8.5, but there wasn't much of the vellum left after I got done cutting it all out. Now, I didn't use the 2 largest images that were on this washi tape. I just chose everything else. But the more I realized, the more it was, all of these images were kind of a little on the too large for me side. I didn't really have anything tiny to play with except for a few leaves. The flowers weren't small enough for me to do a lot of tucking in. But I feel like what I do use actually does get, fills in the gaps nicely. I don't feel like I'm overcrowded, but I was trying really hard to mimic how Terry actually embellished her layout. I really did. Now, Terry also, I looked at her blog that she actually blogged on the Altenew channel, the Altenew blog, I should say, and put down how she put the washi down on cardstock and fussy cut out these images. And so I didn't have the same exact washi tape as she did. I didn't buy the very vibrant multicolored washi tape from Altenew. But that's okay. After I get down all of these black and white florals, I only found a few of my colorful florals from the, what was it called? The Cocoa Vanilla line. More Than Words, I think is what it was called. I apologize. I forgot already. How bad. That's awful of me. I'm so sorry. But on my tray, I only had a few of those florals, and I thought I could have sworn that I had more. I thought that I picked out quite a few more, but I love how they match the same. They're almost like the exact same florals as what is in my washi tape. So, but my florals that were from the prepackaged Cocoa Vanilla collection, they were kind of off cut. So it was almost like the image was printed on the vellum, but then the cut lines were slightly askew. And so I have to trim away some of it on one side. It's not a very big deal. I'm okay with that. It's just kind of obnoxious a little bit. So here's the colors that I did find. I wanted that little splash of color, the teeny tiny itty bitty little bit of color, just because of the color that I ended up using for my ink sprays. And the color that Terry used matched her washi tape very well. Well, of course, it's all Altenew product. So yes, Altenew is very good at having matchy-matchy stuff, just kind of like Stampin' Up! Does. But for me, none of my stuff has color in it. So I'm putting everything together and trying to figure out, what on earth happened to all of the colors that I thought I had, like the colorful flowers, to add that pop of color in so my splatters would match. And I just couldn't find them. I just was like lost at where everything was. So here in a little bit, I have decided that I'm going to paint my washi tape. Yes, that is exactly what I'm going to do. So I've got these 3 pieces of packaging. I've got 3 colors of sprays. Now, one is an Altenew spray. It's brand new that I just brought in. It's called Coral Berry, and it matches that brighter pink flower that I brought in from the Cocoa Vanilla collection. It actually matches really well. I just didn't sprinkle any of that on my layout, which is okay. And I picked up my 2 paintbrushes. Now this one that I'm using here is my absolute favorite one. It's kind of like a flat brush, but it has a little angle on it, so I can get into the fine points. Now with washi tape, it has it's kind of, I don't know how to say it. It's like a slick surface. And so nothing really sticks to it. So basically what I have to do is I have to keep layering my colors on. So I'll paint a little bit, dab it up, paint a little bit more, dab it up until I get the color that I'm looking for. And eventually the color like stains the washi. I don't know exactly what it does or how it reacts. I have no idea, you guys. I just know that it takes just a little bit of that color to sit on the washi and kind of soak in before it actually starts coloring the washi. Does that make sense? Oh my god, probably not, but it's okay. And so I'm using the same coral from Heidi Swapp Color Shine. Now that one is a little bit more pale, but I do absolutely love that color. So I did want to paint the different type of flowers that I have going on with the different color that I have. And you guys might not be able to see this lighter coral in the video. In real life it's there, but in the video it's probably a little bit too pale. However, when I get to the green, which is that forest glade or glades, I'm not sure. Forgive me, Altenew. I don't know. I just know it's a pretty color. And these all have sparkles in them. They all have a shimmer to them. So this layout does become quite sparkly, in case you were curious. But once I get to the green, you guys will be able to see the painting effects much better than the other 2 colors that I was using. Now with the green, I went ahead and I just painted on and I didn't dab up. I figured that eventually it will soak in and dry, which it does. But I did like the saturation. I liked the color of it. I wasn't looking for lights and darks like I was with the flowers. So, and it goes by much, much faster. However, I switched to a round brush and I don't really like this brush as much as I do my flat brush. Oh, and I forgot to glue that leaf down. Yeah, I don't glue that down until almost the very end. FYI, just to let you know. We're just quickly going over the leaves. I'm not looking for, dimension or anything like that. But I do start liking this a lot more now that I have my leaves colored in or my flowers colored in, and they're not as bright and vibrant as Terry's layout is. So now I'm going to go ahead and bring in, now I did fast forward the painting quite a bit, you guys. I just didn't, it was like 40 minutes long. I'm a slow painter. So I fast forwarded that part. And then when I slow back down to my normal speed, it does look like I'm not moving at all. But I did find all of my other, colorful flowers from the Cocoa Vanilla collection, and now I have no spot to put them. It's kind of like, oh, well, too late now. So that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to find a home for all the colorful flowers that I found, just to try and give it that little pop of color that I was looking for in the beginning, and failed miserably. So I do plan on taking this little border strip, or what's it called? Branding strip. That's what it is. I do plan on taking that and adding these stripes a little bit here and there. And so the top 2 photos is going to get the stripe up at the top, and the 2 bottom photos is going to get the stripe down at the bottom. And then the middle photo is just not going to get one at all, because I put the leaves and the flowers almost all the way around it, but I didn't want a stripe going off to the side, basically, is what I wasn't looking for. Now I am roughing up only one edge because the other edge is going to get tucked underneath, and the side edges just weren't poking out enough for me to even frustrate over. It just wasn't worth it. And then I decided not to use the P13 little wood veneer pieces. Now that wood veneer is uber super thin, so I do look forward to actually using it one of these days. I had one more vellum butterfly from the Cocoa Vanilla collection that I went ahead and I just added to it. It doesn't look, now by the time that I add all my butterflies, I do end up with 4 instead, but I kind of ignored the vellum one, and to me I only see 3. I thought I was going to use the peachy pink butterfly, but it was too big, so I went with this card right here and started fussy cutting out just 3 of the butterflies. I didn't really need or necessarily want all 9. There was no way. So I went ahead and I just cut out a row, and I left this part in because as I was finished cutting them, I ended up gluing all 3 of them down instead of cutting out 3 and then gluing them down. I cut one, glued, cut one, glued. So I went ahead and I just left it in, but you guys don't need to watch me, messily cut around a butterfly. No way. And I did leave the butterflies just plain white. I didn't really want them to stick out like sore thumbs. So I think that they blend in very well. In fact, the vellum butterfly sticks out more than the white butterflies do, in all honesty. And I thought I was going to add that gray tag or that gray label, and I did not. I found some more flowers. Yep, kicking myself in the butt for that one. And my spray that I put on one of the packaging, the bright pink one, it slid under my layout because I wasn't paying attention. And I got a little bit of pink behind my layout, but that's okay. The cardstock is thick enough to where you can't see it coming through just yet. It didn't soak in all the way. And then I'm going to pick out a few words that kind of remind me of Little Dakota. And so I thought that I would put some in some of the pictures. And then I'm kind of sort of treating the peach word as the title. And it just is adorable. That's all it says. She was a very adorable puppy, but she wasn't, or actually I should say dog, but she was not a cuddly dog. She didn't expect to sit on your lap. She didn't, any of that stuff. She basically, if Gabe wasn't home, you didn't touch her. You didn't do anything with her. She would only sleep with Gabe. She would only, let Gabe hold her. She would play with Gabe, and that was it. So when I thought that I was done, I thought that it needed something else. It kind of seems like the page is never ending. And so as I'm showing you guys the close-up here, I am thinking really hard, how can I feel like the page is finished? And so I decide really quickly that I'm going to cut off 1/4 inch off 2 sides and pick a backing piece of cardstock. So I found out on 2 sides that I could cut off 1/4 inch. And this is where I realized that leaf is still not glued in. But so that way I can get a little bit more than 1/4 inch to show. I rough up the edges using my edge distressor, finally gluing that leaf down. Just took all video to do that, but that's okay. I didn't think it was going to go anywhere anyways, but you never know, right? And then I'm going to go through my Reads as a Solid cardstock and actually choose which piece am I going to put down at the back. Now, it's not very thick. This is all of the Reads as a Color cardstock that I own. And I picked this one by My Mind's Eye. It's just like a crosshatch little thing. But the color was beautiful and absolutely perfect for the layout. And I just used some tear and tape and glued it down. Realized I accidentally grabbed out 2 sheets. Didn't mean to. Cut off the branding strip, and I am done. That is it for my lift for Terry. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out everyone else. That is linked down below in the description. And I will check y'all tomorrow. Bye.